Okay, everybody, I'm dragging a little bit today. Well, actually, it's not really dragging because it's 6:54 a.m. So it's still early. I just got up earlier today. I wanted to do my review of the Oval. So let's get right into it. Pardon me for the cover and all this. It's chilly in my room right now. So Victoria, we pick up where we left off last time, and she's stunned because she found Jean's body under the bed, and housekeeping comes in to clean, and she sends her away, and then she starts telling Victoria about, oh, Miss Laura had a heart attack or whatever, and then Victoria asks her which hospital she's in, and the other housekeeper tells her, and I'm like, well, are they going to send somebody to take out Miss Laura? I mean, you know how Hunter and Victoria are. They want to cover up everything to protect their power. And so she goes in there. Victoria goes into the bedroom, the presidential bedroom, and she tells Hunter, "We have a problem." She says, "Go to Jason's room," um, and he doesn't want to. He's like, "Why?" So she tells him to look under the bed, and he's like, he's a dirty teenager. He's gonna have dirty clothes, because that's what he's chalking the odor up to, and Victoria tells him, you should have gotten himself some help, because Hunter goes on, looks under the bed, and it's like, oh my god. And she once again, she did tell him, you need to do something about Jason. And she's like, now he's graduated. He graduated up to killing somebody. And so she wants Hunter to handle this, and she's like, she's basically telling him, you need to stuff her in this chest. And Hunter is not for it. And she's like, you need to man up and do this. And I'm like, that doesn't have nothing to do with being a man. I mean, who wants to stuff a dead body in a chest? I mean, come on. Um, so we get a scene with Sam and Donald, and Sam's not buying the story about Max and Yuma. And he's basically trying to that was basically kind of trying he's trying to kind of gaslight Sam into believing this foolishness, or well, maybe you didn't see this or whatever, just anything to protect the secrets. um and Sam doesn't think it was a good idea that that Donald sent Kyle to talk to the families, Yuma's wife and Max's wife. He doesn't think that was a good idea, and obviously we know why that's not a good idea, because Kyle is cuckoo, like several other people on this show. I mean, this is just a cuckoo show. Um, so Sam wants to visit Max in the hospital, and Donald's like, "Don't do that." And then once Sam gets out of the Donald's office, he calls Priscilla, and he's like, "We need to talk," and all of that. So we get a scene with Sharon and Barry, and they're in the car, and basically Barry's saying, going back and forth about the money, and Sharon's like, "This is not my money," and Barry's like, "Well, it's not mine." So that's basically what they were doing. They were kind of going back and forth about the money. Ugh, excuse me. So back at the White House, Sam and not Sam, Hunter and Victoria are sitting up there drinking. Um, they're try. I guess they're trying to drown their sorrows about there being another dead person in the White House, and Sam comes in and he tells them, there was an emergency with your mother's plane, and it landed in Texas, and he says, well, your mother's dead. Apparently, she had a heart attack on the plane. So I guess Maud is dead. I thought she might have just been knocked out because with Tyler Perry, he'll come up with some twists and turns and all that. But she's dead. And for someone who talked all of that, she sure went out easily. I mean, it seems like it's like she would have been able to at least try to come back with something because Jason is like a flimsy guy, and it seems like she would have been able to come back with something, but I guess she was not like she was strong with words and scheming, but not she did not have it to chop him in the throat or something and get him off her. So over to the cabin, where Bobby and them are at. So Diane, she pulls up and she gets to the cabin. Okay, well wait. I think yeah. So she had dropped it because later in the episode we find out that her car was found at a gas station. So she dropped her car off, and she was picked up and brought to the cabin. And so she doesn't want to talk in front of Lily. Oh, well, she's Donald's wife. And Lily's like, he tried to kill me. So she shut that down right there because Diane was trying to get an attitude. And Lily's like, you know what? It's like, don't even try because he tried to kill me. It's not like, as much as say, it's not like I'm on his side. And then Diane, she has to get even more smart. She's like, oh, well, to Lily, like, oh, you must be the jealous type. Oh, yes, I slept with Bobby, but I lost interest. And I'm like, it's kind of hard to be on Diane's side right now because she's coming at Lily wrong, and Lily's done nothing wrong to her. So it was kind of hard to be on her side, right then, because it's like, why are you coming at Lily? She's done nothing wrong. Um, she's just trying to preserve her own safety. And so Max, he's all out of it. He doesn't trust anybody. He grabs Diane and has her like this, and he's like, I'll do it. And Bobby has to, talk him down. He has to get Lily to show him the text message that everything's okay. Max's wife is in Indiana. That's where she needed to go to be safe. So everything is good. So they really had to talk Max down because Max was like freaked out. Obviously he would have a lot of concern for that. So he was just like flipped out. But they got him calmed down. So crazy Jason, he talks to Victoria on the phone. He's saying, well, some men came and took Gail. Apparently it was something the grandmother had arranged, and the men worked for her. And so she asked him about what happened. Victoria asked him about what happened. He's like, I don't know, a window broke and grandma grabbed her chest. And he just lies. And then Victoria, she's like, is there something you want to tell me? That's what parents do when their child has done something, although usually it's nothing as, insane as this, but usually a parent will say to their child when they're trying to get them to tell the truth, is there something you want to tell me? And, of course, he lies about it, and he's like, oh, well, I have dirty clothes in there. I'll get them. She's like, well, do you want me to have housekeeping clean the room? And he's like, no, no, I'll do it. And so, of course, he wasn't going to tell the truth. But Victoria played that parental role like, is there something you want to tell me? Trying to coax it out because, parents love to do that. If they've come across something, they love to be like, is there something you want to tell me? Okay, so uh, Sharon and Barry, they get back to Richard's house, and Richard has changed the locks, and Barry's like, why did you do that? And Richard really does not want to talk about it, and Sharon's like telling him, well, should you be resting? And he's like real snippy, and he gets snippy with Barry too, because Barry's like, well, where's mom? And Richard's like, I don't care. And Barry's trying to be the rational one at this point. He's like, oh yeah, you do care where mom is. You're just saying that, blah blah blah, all that. And at this point, Richard really does not want to see Nancy. And he's like, he tells Barry, I apologize to you for the man you're about to see me become, because Richard has just he's not the same person he was in the first season. He was, you know, the voice of reason, and now reason has gone out the window for him because he's experienced some mess of his own, and he tells Barry, well, should you be worried about that mess in there? As in, all the mess with Sharon and that, and Barry was trying to get Richard to be rational, and so that's rich coming from Barry, because we know how rational Barry can be. Mr. I drive trucks through storefronts. Anyway, so let's get to the rest of this. So Priscilla, she's calling Jean. She can't get a hold of her. So she calls an agent at the White House. The one that'll be in the room looking at all the screens and stuff. And he tells her, well, Jean didn't sign out. And Priscilla's like, well, I know something's wrong. I know something's wrong. And he really doesn't want to, believe her that something's wrong. And she says, no, I know something's wrong because she calls me all the time. And, okay, so Alonzo is the agent's name. So Alonzo, he goes on the little security cameras, and he can't see everything because there's no cameras in the residence, but you can see the staircase. And he saw Jean go in, but he did not see her go out. Sorry, I'm yawning. And he did not see her come out, and then he saw where Miss Laura was brought out on a stretcher. And so Priscilla knows something's up. So we know that Priscilla is already, just like done with Victoria. She's had it up to here. So that's going to make it less likely for Hunter and Victoria to sell some fake story about how Jean died. They threw Denise out somewhere and made it look like, oh, well, this was some random street crime or whatever. That's going to make it harder for them to do that because Priscilla is going to stay on this. She already has a reason not to like Victoria. But now her niece is gone, and she's going to stay on this because she knows that Jean did not come out of that White House. So it's not like they can say, oh, she left and got attacked when she was going home. Nope, she never left the White House, and Priscilla's going to stay on this, I can tell. So Kyle, he comes over there to Donald's house, and basically he tells, it's about him not being able to find Max, and they know that Diane was behind him being moved, and Donald's like, he wants to kill Diane, and obviously he's very angry at her, but I don't think he's going to be able to get to her because seems like that whole cabin situation is very secure. And Kyle wants the key to Donald's house. He's like, now that your wife is gone, can I have my key back? And Donald makes him work for the key. I'm not going to detail it, but it was pretty sleazy. Okay. So over at Alan and Ellie, so Alan is trying to be fresh and he's in his underwear, and all that. And, Ellie's just like, you know what, I just want to take a shower and go to sleep. And so in the room, Alan had a ring. It looked like it was a ring. He had a ring in there. And he asked her to marry him. And she's like, no, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. It's not the right time, with this job and everything. And so Alan goes off. He's like, are you sleeping with him? And of course she denies it. And then he ends up pushing her against the kitchen cabinet. So it looks like that's an abusive situation there. So, because the way Ellie reacted, it was like it was not the first time it had happened. So that's an abusive situation there. So back at the White House, Victoria is cleaning out Jason's trunk. And she gets to the bottom of it and she takes out this sword and she's like, this mother. And that just made me laugh. The way she said it, it's like, you know what? He done taken out somebody else. So Jason has killed 3 people. That's a really high body count. And, so I don't see how he can stay on this show much longer, having killed all those people. And we've seen him kill 2 of them on screen. So I don't know how he can stay on this show much longer, but it is Tyler Perry, and we know that Tyler Perry, stretches with his storyline. So I wanted to say something about the preview. So Nancy is back in Richard's house, and she's like, I made you some breakfast, and it's like she's taunting him. Because the way she said it wasn't like she was being nice and trying to make amends and say, oh, I made you breakfast. Like she's taunting him. Yeah, I'm going to be here. I'm going to stay here. You can't do anything about it. It's like she was taunting him. But anyway, let me not keep rambling on. That was the Oval. I hope I didn't miss anything. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you have anything to say, and I will see you the next time.